Hey, what is happening, my people? We are live and in the building. Datalorian here. What is today? It's Wednesday. And we're here to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, man. We are here to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. I'm ready to go in. We're talking spoilers, so if you have not seen the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 4, get out of here and then come back and watch this stream. This stream will be, completely uploaded after we're done, so you guys can always go back and rewatch it. For those who can't make it, or if you're, wanting to go watch the show and then come back and hear what me and my buddy Andura have to say, you're more than welcome to join us later. Speaking of which, I need to send out the stream link to my buddy. I almost forgot about that. He's probably gonna be like, dude, what the hell? What the hell, man? I'm supposed to be in the stream and I don't see you. Like, what are you doing? Let me send that to him now. Stream. Let's see. Stream link. Hopefully he doesn't have issues this week. Hopefully he can just join and be like, dude, I'm good. I'm in the stream. Let's go. Let's do this. Yandura, I see you. Just pulled up. Hey, it's probably best to go in the chat. You know what? I can post it right here in the chat for you. Boom. So Yandura, you can click on that one, that link right there in the chat, and then that'll just pop you right in. So that'll be easy. That's perfect. Okay. So as he's getting ready to come in, let's go through a few captions, and then I'll check on the chat here in just a minute. So, number one, to all of my TikTok people that are watching right now, be sure to come on over to YouTube and subscribe. You guys are fine to watch wherever you are. If you're watching on TikTok or if you're watching on YouTube, that's totally fine. If you guys want to come over and I would say, YouTube is definitely it's an immersive experience, where you guys are a little more connected, in the chat, you know what I mean? So, but it's really a personal preference thing. Wherever you guys like to watch, wherever you're most comfortable is totally fine. But again, I always encourage all of my followers on TikTok, be sure to go and follow me on YouTube as well, as default. Like, if you follow me on TikTok, you should follow me on YouTube as well. Same name, same logo. I'm gonna have to get stickers made that say that with like my Mando bucket. Same name, same logo. Subscribe. That's a slogan, man. I love that. So yeah, be sure to subscribe. Other than that, also, I've mentioned this before, I am partnered with Save Neo. So they have sent me 2 amazing lightsabers. I've done a few videos with those, as far as reviews and playing around with them as well. So be sure to check those videos out. But if you're also looking to buy yourself a saber, go straight through the Save Neo website and use my coupon code Datalorian. If you're on TikTok, you can find my link tree there, and that'll take you straight to their website, and then just type in my coupon code Datalorian. They got some great deals on their sabers. I highly recommend them, and they're super dope. I have 2, and I have like a connector thing where I can do like dual action. It's pretty damn awesome. So shout out to Save Neo. Thanks for sending me the sabers. I love them, and make sure you guys go and check them out. And if you're purchasing through them, again, just use my coupon code Datalorian. So without further ado, let's check on our chat first before we get into topics and whatnot. Let's check on our chat. Jonic says, I got COVID. Holy moly. Sorry, dude. That's awful. I got ages off school, so that's fun. Hey, well, there you go. You got out of school. Let me go ahead and pop my buddy Yandura in as we hop into this thing. Hey, there he is. What's up, pal?
What's going on?
Good to see you,
see
man.
you again, for real.
Dude, it's I'm a happy boy. That's all I gotta say. I'm a very happy boy with today's episode. Man, I've already seen it twice. Probably gonna watch it again later.
You already got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. Project Pegasus says, how do you put in a coupon code? Great question. So I think it's right before checkout when you're going to Save Neo. It will prompt you to like put in like an affiliate code or a coupon code. Make sure you look though before you purchase. My wife was checking it out the other day just to like test it out, and she was like, you really just have to pay attention before you purchase. So it's there right before you end everything at checkout. So it's there. Just make sure you're looking. It'll give you an option for it. And then just use the coupon code that I mentioned earlier. It's literally just my name, Datalorian. So use that, and then you should be good. But yeah, they're super dope, man. I highly recommend them. I legit creamed when I heard the track play. Oh, bro, we about to get there. Don't even worry. Don't even trip.
We're talking about that.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about. That's already in my notes. So yes. I am listening to this audiobook called Darth Bane, Dynasty of Evil. That sounds cool. I've never read that one. Yandura, do you know about this one?
No, I haven't read that one either.
Yeah, I have not. I am currently reading. I'm like damn near. Yeah, I'm about halfway through Fallen Star for the High Republic. Really loving that era and everything that's going on with that. So, and I also have a video coming out on Mandalorian stuff. So keep you guys' eyes open for that. It kind of has some stuff to do with the High Republic in that video. It was so unexpected. Yeah, bro. I mean, unexpected, but kind of expected. We knew some. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So anyway,
for it.
Yeah. So Yandura, let's start things off. We already talked about Save Neo. Before we get into the episode, there is one thing I do want to talk about, and that is this. I mean, I don't even know if it's a rumor at this point. It's like, what the hell? What about Bo-Katan? There's an apparent. There's talk about a Bo-Katan show. Ming-Na Wen was on Twitter, and I'll share. Let me do this. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about. So you guys don't think I'm completely crazy. I'm going to show you. Where is it at? So I think they have a screenshot of it. Yeah. Right here, right? So as you can see, Ming-Na Wen, she tweeted this out. She was like, woo, thrilled for Katie's sack of congrats, girl. Bo-Katan, hashtag Star Wars, and mentioned Disney Plus. But then the tweet is gone. The tweet is gone. It's not on her page anymore. So everybody's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What's going on here? So
you spilled the beans, I guess.
Right, yeah, man. So I think that opens up a can of worms for some interesting things as well, where it kind of changes my mind potentially on certain things that could be happening in The Mandalorian Season 3, where they may just explore more backstory with Bo-Katan, like how she lost the Darksaber, really her connection to Moff Gideon and how that all started. Mm-hmm. So, and it makes me wonder, will she really be the rightful owner of the Darksaber? Even though I don't know, like she's definitely more than capable of being the Mandalore, you know what I mean? But is she though? Like, what is her show going to be about? If it's a show, or not? I don't know. So, curious to hear your thoughts, man. What do you think about this?
Honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about this, and
yeah,
I think that's cool because there's so much backstory, like between the time of the Clone Wars animated series and where we're at now with Mando. Like, there's so much time they could fill in. Like, first off, like you just said, how did Moff Gideon even get the Darksaber in the first place? Things like that.
Yeah.
And wasn't she affiliated with Darth Maul at one point as well?
Because he did the Crimson Dawn stuff, right?
Yeah, we could see that come into play a little bit there.
Yeah, we could see. I don't know if she was affiliated with it because I know she had left. A Death Watch after a certain point. But no, wait a minute. Was she affiliated with them?
Yeah, I remember. She announced him as the rightful ruler.
Yeah,
because he was like an off-worlder.
Damn, I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I think it was in season 7.
Okay, of the Clone Wars. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Don't quote me on that, but
okay. So maybe she had some connection at some point, but that would be dope to see too. Like, yeah, man, I don't know. There's a lot that they could do with a Bo-Katan show. So obviously we know something is coming.
Yeah.
And people weren't supposed to talk about it quite yet, but something's coming. So.
I bet you Disney was like, "Yo, delete that tweet right now."
Yeah. Oh yeah, my girl was sweating. She was like, "Oh, never mind, my bad." But I have to say this: actors, I feel like they are prompted to leak certain things and say certain things. Perfect example is Andrew Garfield. I always use Spider-Man as an example, but you know where they may say something and then they lie about it, but then they're like, oh yeah, you know, I seen this picture, but it's a fake. But then like months later, it comes out that it was true. We're like, okay, whatever. So I don't know. I wonder how much of that was like purposefully staged, or if it was like, oh shit, never mind, let me take that down.
They
didn't mean to say that.
It as like to build the hype before they even announced it officially.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But hey, I'm this just gets me hyped because even though when I think of Star Wars, the couple things I think of is music, and I also think about lightsabers. But Star Wars, as we know, doesn't have to be so Jedi centric. That's why I love the High Republic. But there's this new video I just got done editing last night for my YouTube channel where I was like, I love the High Republic, but I also want to see what's going on Mandalore during the time of the High Republic, not just the Jedi. You know what I mean? So the fact that we're getting another show or whatever the project will be that's not necessarily focused on Jedi, I'm like, I'm all about it, man. This is great. So we'll see what happens, but we know something's coming, man. We know something's coming.
Especially because they tagged Disney Plus. That's how you know.
Yeah. And she took that shit down real quick. So we know something's coming, man.
Just to piggyback off of that, if we're still on the topic of rumors, there was a rumor going around about this video that leaked on like a burner YouTube account about Knights of Ren.
Yes!
Oh, you see that too?
I seen it. Yeah, tell everyone about it if they haven't seen it.
So it's this like short like teaser almost of one of the Knights of Ren. I've never seen him it almost looks like Sauron, but and he just jumps from a TIE fighter onto an X-Wing and tears it down. It's just like this rumored possible show, or maybe it's like a really good fan-made film, and no one's really quite sure yet. But I seen that and I was like, that would be awesome as well to kind of give some more context to the sequel too.
And I seen it and I was like, if it's fan made, that's some pretty damn good stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though throwing out names, I know Theory has done some great stuff and other, creators that, are content creators like us, but they have a bigger fan base where they've been able to make fan films, and it's like, wow, this looks amazing. Almost even better than some Hollywood scale level stuff.
Right.
But then I'm like, as I looked at it, I was like, I'd never seen this footage before. So that's what kind of leaves me where like, I don't know, like, it's not from a video game. Like,
it looks like a video game almost as well. Like it looked almost Battlefront 2 graphic
style. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. So, I would love to have a Knights of Ren game. That would be top tier for me.
It would be insane, man. I don't know what to think about it, because it's like it kind of seems like it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should do a thing of like rumor roundup for Star Wars, man. I'm like, there's so much to talk about and think about. But I seen it and I was like, is this real or is it really fan made? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple parts in it where I'm like, it almost looks like there was some clipping through the models, and they talked about how it could be already pre-made assets and the sounds and everything. So it could very well be a fan made, but I'm hopeful that it's not,
Yeah, we'll see, man. But I'm hoping that it'll actually turn out to be, because honestly, the way it was put together was pretty damn good. I don't know who would be filming that, like who is leaking these things. But here's the thing: this is why I think it could be fake, only because I feel like Lucasfilm, they're very shady in terms of how they release things. You know what I mean? So it's like Marvel. I feel like they're very tight-lipped, but sometimes I feel like it's purposefully. Certain things are leaked out where they're like, okay, we're going to put this image out and have people hype it up. Lucasfilm, I feel like they're very hush-hush. And mainly, you remember like Disney, what was it, Disney Plus Day? When we were all like totally like reloading our feeds on the whole damn Twitter thing and hoping we would get something new for Obi-Wan Kenobi and other things like Mandalorian Season 3. But no, it wasn't, it wasn't. I feel like Lucasfilm's presence wasn't as powerful as I wanted it to be for that day and a little bit afterwards. But I think a lot of that goes to speak to their marketing. And that's when I think about it, some of these new trailers coming out. I'm like, Lucasfilm is very tight-lipped in the way they do their marketing. They don't release much until the right time.
Yeah, so we'll serious,
Yeah. So, but overall, it's got me hyped. Would we love to see a Knights of Ren thing? Yes, please. That would be amazing. And a young Ben Solo? God, yes, dude. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Let's check on our chat before Tell Yandura Mando says hi. William Huffman.
Yo, Mando.
What's up, man? Erica slides into the comments. I see you, girl. What's up? Okay, so I think that was like our main thing as far as like rumors. And then thank you for mentioning that, because I was like, yeah, man. There's a lot happening in the world of Star Wars. And again, to everyone on TikTok, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and kick this off, man, and get into the discussion about today's episode. So again, we start off in a back to tank. As soon as whenever I see a back to tank, I'm like, flashback scenes. Let's go.
I said the same thing.
And this I was okay with this. We're really on a mission to get Slave One and his armor. That was kind of the main thing. As we kick it off, let's talk about some of like our favorite quotes within this episode. So one that I really liked was "Make baby banthas." I feel like there's going to be many themes. There's going to be many memes of Boba Fett, just in general, man, from some of these episodes. Make baby banthas. That stuck in my head. One thing that was said by Fennec Shan that really got me thinking about Cobb Vanth. She said, "Speeder bikers killed Tusken Raiders? Not likely." And I even thought that before, where I was like, you're talking about these guys, they were effing people up. They were, the way they taught Boba how to fight, and he took on those bikers by himself. It's like something's not adding up. Why would all of them come up and kill the Tuskens when the Tuskens trained Boba in their ways, and he took them on by himself and survived? You know what I mean? Even though I know Boba Fett's a badass, but that line from her really stuck out to me, where she was like, a speeder biker gang killed Tusken Raiders? Not likely. So it made me think, and I don't know if I mentioned that to you last week, where I was like, bro, if it's in his flashback, if we seen that it was freaking Cobb Vanth like flaming them down and killing them, tell me that wouldn't have been like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but that furthers the plot for me, is like, does Cobb Vanth have some connection with that biker gang? You know what I mean?
Right. And I was also thinking it was possible that the Pikes had something to do with that as well.
Yeah, or maybe.
There was also that middle ground. So in the last recap, he went to them and he was like, "I'm here to collect the toll for the Tusken Raiders."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Well, we already paid the toll to them and you, so we're not going to pay it twice." It would make sense for them to send the pirates out to get rid of the competition, per se, So it could go either way, I think.
Yeah. And that is true. They did say that. So it could be a thing of like, hey, we're just gonna hire these guys off to enemy of my enemy again is kind of your friend situation.
Exactly.
So I don't, but that line in general stuck out to me, and I feel like we'll probably see something played on with that later down the road.
I agree.
Let me make a statement to chat really quick. Again, anyone tuning in on TikTok, we are talking spoilers heavy for the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 4, so just be mindful of that. Was I mentioned? Yes. Welcome in, dude. Welcome into the stream. Erica says, I went to bed at like 4 a.m. and I got 4 hours of sleep, and yet I'm still wired from all that Mountain Dew. Oh my God. Why are you drinking Mountain Dew? What's wrong with you? There used to be a 4 a.m. At 4 a.m. What are you doing? What are you doing? William Huffman says, when Boba said he had plenty of credits. Let me pump that up. There we go. I thought about last bounty he did, and it has Han Solo, and he had been paid from Vader and Jabba. Oh yeah, maybe that was part of maybe that was a reference to that, possibly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt
that
it.
That would have been his last job before what happened.
Before shit hit the fan, right?
Yeah.
That's a good. That is a good callback. I didn't really think about that. I had a full 12-pack to myself. You drank the whole 12-pack? Why? Oh my God. You remember there used to be a rumor back in the day, like if guys drank Mountain Dew, it would make you sterile. I don't know. Does anyone remember that, or is it just me? I remember hearing that about Mountain Dew, and I used to be afraid to drink it. But
I also heard that in school about green Gatorade.
I think I heard that too.
The green, the color green.
Just don't drink green stuff. Apparently, I don't know, man. I don't know. Unless it's natural. All right. So again, let's go on to our next quote. Next time, don't touch my buttons. That gets in. I like the little light humor and just the the dynamic between Fennec Shan and Boba Fett. I really enjoy seeing those two together. And there is a TikTok video I reacted to. I don't think I've posted it yet, but again, I do agree. Yes, a lot of this episode felt like it was catching everybody up and filling in gaps. which I'm fine with. And Yandur, I want to hear your thoughts on this here in just a second too, where I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. There are a lot of flashback scenes and there's a lot of catching people up. But again, you're talking about a character that in the original trilogy, he didn't do much of anything. Like, he had a couple very minimal lines that, you know, are so small that it's less than a minute. You know what I mean? How many lines he's had.
Right.
And in terms of like his on-screen presence, you're talking about a character that just didn't do much. So I feel like, you know, again, if you don't like the show, folks who don't like it, that's fine. I respect and value your opinion. But my opinion, how I feel about it is, you know, I'm okay with it, man. I enjoy it because we have never, I would have never imagined we would get this much time with Boba Fett. You're talking about this kind of silent almost character that really didn't do much. You didn't get to see much of him. And you really wanted that as a kid. We always wanted to see more of Boba Fett. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I feel like this catch up and filling in the gaps is necessary for a character and story like this. Any other character, I would be like, okay, if we know about them enough, it's like, okay, we can move on. But this is a character we didn't get much development with. So it's like, I'm okay with not rushing too far into things and kind of letting the story develop. Because again, we never had that much time, you know, with this character. Now, this episode definitely felt different from last week. Like, I feel satisfied. But Yandur, I want to hear from you. Like, when you, I don't know if you've been seeing that floating around, like on TikTok specifically. There's been some people who are like, you know, it's kind of a slow burn. What are your thoughts on this time that we're able to spend with Boba Fett?
I think it's super important because, like you said, he had like 5 lines in the original trilogy, and just based off of the look of him alone, people attach themselves to that character. They're like, "Whoa, he's the coolest character I've ever seen." In some people's cases, and I really think that we needed that development. We needed that time to really see not only what happened at the Sarlacc pit and everything, but to see why he is who he is now. And I think this episode was integral for a lot of the people that's like, oh, Boba Fett's just a bounty hunter. We need to see him just murk people.
Right.
But I think that quote where he's like, no, the Tuskens took me in, and that's what made me strong. You know what I mean? Where Fennec was like, living with the Tuskens has made you weak. And he's like, no, it's made me strong. And then he talked about being with the tribe and how that really affected him. And I think that's really the whole situation that turned him into the person we see in the modern day Book of Boba Fett. Like how he, like you said with the Bantha, go make baby Banthas. And,
I love that.
The way he treated the Rancor and everything. He's been through a lot in his life, and now he's truly just a simple man making his way through the galaxy at this point. You know? And
it's like, you know, I mean, almost in like modern day culture where so many people confuse meekness for being weakness. You know, meek is, you know, more humble. It's more less self-reserved, and it's more like, you know, opening where, you know, some people see that like if you're kind and more collective, then that's seen as being weak. But, you know, I like how he even said, and you mentioned it, where he's like, no, being with the Tuskens actually made me strong. You know, where I feel like, hey, you know, I think it's almost like Muhammad Ali. Mike Tyson, he talked about an interview one time and just describing Muhammad Ali. He was like, here's the thing about Muhammad Ali. He's like a supermodel, beauty model, but that's a T-Rex. He's got the face of a model, you know what I mean? But there's a freaking T-Rex underneath all of that, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how I see Boba Fett right now, where it's like, everyone's like, oh, he seems so soft, but it's like, you know, that persona, he's just very collective. But whenever he needs to pull that out, I feel like we're really going to see, you know, if you want to see that Rambo mode at the right opportune moment, I'm sure, you know, he could always bring that out whenever he wants to.
And I think we did see that in the episode, especially when he finally found the pirates. He's like, I got a couple scores.
Oh, yeah.
And you could see it in his face. He's like, you know, he reverted back to that cold-hearted, you know, killer of a bounty hunter.
He was blowing their asses up. Oh man, I was cheering. I was so good.
That part redeemed the whole show for me. I was like, there it is. There's that mean streak we've needed. And I think that was fan service a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, because if you cross him, he will, he'll get you.
Oh, it was good though. And now, and that actually puts us to our next part of our discussion is seeing Slave One fly. I wrote down, I was like, seeing it fly felt like old Star Wars. Like the ship itself is just, it's timeless. I don't know if you got that feeling, but just seeing it like in the Tatooine sunset, and I'm just sitting there like a little kid again, man. I was like, oh man. Again, like there it is.
There it is.
That we've been waiting to see the ship, even though that was a flashback. I want to see it in present times as well. But man, there's just something about the ship that just took me back. And then, going back to the Sarlacc.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoy that scene because they really dug into like the creepiness and kind of, just the thriller of the Sarlacc, and it felt like a Boba Fett thing to do. Let me explain what I mean by that. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. This really felt like a Boba Fett thing because I don't know how you guys feel about Boba Fett, but I feel like he always looked really cool. He was always really badass. But then sometimes I just feel like he did stupid stuff. Like in the original trilogy, and it was like this was one of this felt like Boba Fett. This felt like something he would do. Like, why are you going back into the Sarlacc? And I know you know Legends more than I do. I know you know Legends a little bit more than I do. And I know in Legends, apparently, he went back into the Sarlacc like 3 different times. Bunch of weird, crazy stuff. At least I think you know Legends a little bit more than I do. I
know a bit.
Okay. So I feel like that was kind of a callback to some of that, even though in Legends, I think it got wonky where apparently like he had like some mental connection with the Sarlacc and got it got weird. So I'm glad they didn't do that. But I was like, oh, that seems like a little nod towards certain things that they've done before. I didn't understand why he would go back in, but I want to hear your thoughts on that whole scene. Like, what did you think about the Slave One blasting Sarlacc up? What'd you think about that scene?
I think at first, because it was right after the scene with the pirates, I thought he was just going back to the Sarlacc for vengeance,
Yeah, so did I.
Yep. It's like, man, this thing ate me. I'm going to go blow it up, And then I remembered, like, he probably doesn't remember the Jawas even taking his armor because he was fresh out of the pit, and he was like dehydrated and all that. I think it was cool for him to assume that like his armor might still be in there. And at this point I don't think he has any clue, which is a tie back into what you were saying about Cobb Vanth. Eventually he finds out Cobb has the armor. So maybe we'll see that in the next flashback. But I think it was dope to really see the Sarlacc at its full like potential with the technology we have in this day and age as compared to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like for them to do that, the Sarlacc didn't feel scary in like the Return of Jedi, at least in my opinion, because of the puppeteering they had to do it. But to see it like be way down there and then come out and grab the ship and all that.
Oh, that shit was scary.
I was like, wow, that is actually kind of scary. And for her to press like the mines, I needed to see that. Like I was saying to my girlfriend a couple weeks ago, actually, I was like, I need to see him drop one of the mines. I need to hear the boom. You know what I mean? And I think it was just a perfect moment for them to do that, to just drop it in the Sarlacc pit and then see it go through the sand.
Oh man!
Oh, that gave me goosebumps for real.
Somebody in the comments mentioned something about like jizzing in the pans earlier. That was one of the moments that I did. That was one of the moments I did. Does anyone follow Splendid Sith Lord on TikTok? He always talks about like Daddy Vader. He's like, he loves Darth Vader, and that was one of the moments when I heard that sound of this, sax. I was like, oh my god, yes, dude. Hands down, no shame. That was I jumped out of my seat for that one. I really loved it.
I was like, oh, there it is. I didn't know what the button was. She's like, I was like, what is this button? Is that like the escape hatch? And it's the seismic charge. And she knew it too. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna press that.
Yeah, and that's where that quote is, "Don't touch my buttons again." I love that.
Yeah, and I bet you that they'll call back to that again because that was a good quote. For real, I like that.
Let's see. Oh, so you mentioned, and this, everything we're talking about just leads straight into every other bullet point. I love that, man. His healing is complete.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I may be making nothing out of this, but that's why we do these streams, because we like to analyze everything. So the droid said his healing is complete, and that made me think, well, are we not going to get any more flashbacks? Because whenever we see him in the back to tank, it's like, hey, we can expect as an audience that's where we're going to get flashbacks. But maybe is it just going to be a thing whenever he's sleeping, or you know what I mean? But his healing is done, so I'd imagine he doesn't need to do the back to tank anymore. But then I'm just like, something's missing. We still haven't seen Cobb Vanth in those flashbacks, which is so necessary. Like, we know, like, if they're filling in gaps, that's one that has to get touched on.
Yeah, because in Mando, he was already in the distance in one of the early episodes of that. You know what I mean? And I think early on in the Book of Boba Fett, he said the dreams are coming back. So I don't know if it's necessarily because of the back to tank, but I think it might be just when he's sleeping. So I would be disappointed if that was the final flashback.
No more back to tank, no more flashbacks. Sorry guys, we're moving on.
And it's cool they cleared that up. I was like, okay, does Boba Fett just sleep in a back to tank just to be at full health at every moment? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's because he was all torn up from the sun. He had all the he had the acid on him from the Sarlacc. I was like, why does he just sleep in there to make him more powerful?
Yeah.
Is that what stopped Black Chrysanthemum from literally just snapping him in half? The back then, I wondered,
Yeah, because he really could have. I thought about that too. I was like, damn, if Black Chrysanthemum wanted to kill him, like, he could have done it. Like, I feel like the way he was squeezing him, he could have really been, holistically injured easily.
Yeah, or like paralyzed.
Somebody mentioned last week too, they were like, maybe it's, I think I'm glad I bought it. I bought the graphic novel collection of War of the Bounty Hunter, so I'm going to read that. It should be getting here Friday, so I'll be able to read the whole thing. I don't know if they ever had any connection with each other, but I mean, I know that they know each other. They know of each other. They had some type of interaction.
They did have a connection in the Vader 2015 comic book series, and I think the very first one, Vader goes back to Tatooine without the Emperor knowing, I'm pretty sure. Well, the Emperor sends him there, but Vader goes there with his own purpose. And that's when he places the bounty on Luke, I believe. And the two people that take the bounty are Boba and Black Chrysanthemum. They're in the same frame together. So they do have a history.
You're right. And that's where Boba goes to Tatooine, because he goes to Obi-Wan Kenobi's old place. Because I think, wasn't that where, like, Luke went to, like, grab, it was like some artifact that Obi-Wan had. But no, he ends up fighting. He ends up fighting Luke there. That was in the Vader comics, right? Yeah. I remember that. But I don't remember Black Chrysanthemum. What the hell? How did I miss that?
It was honestly, I've only watched the first couple. I watched the YouTube ones of it.
Yeah.
And I know we've seen him in it because I made a TikTok about it. Right when I seen Black Chrysanthemum, I was like, I know that Wookiee. Like, where's he from? And I was like, Boba and Black Chrysanthemum have history. That's why he let him go. It's just business. And then he sent Black Chrysanthemum on his way, which I knew would call back to him helping Boba in the long run.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how he's that one, the Twi'lek is like, we don't need to do this. You can just let him go and I'll pay your tab. And then he's like, nope. And then pays the tab himself. That was awesome.
Dude, badass, man. And I mean, if we're gonna talk about that, I already told my wife this. She knows that Twi'lek is bae. I'm already trying to look into cosplay options for my wife, trying to find some, Laku. So if anybody has any good deals out there, drop it in the comments below. That's gonna be my wife's new cosplay, FYI.
Nice.
But no, man, that Black Chrysanthemum. I'm really excited to see, and this is something I wrote earlier. I guess we can talk about it now. Krait's Claw. Are they gonna make is he gonna like form a new Krait's Claw between himself, Fennec Shan, Black Chrysanthemum, and Mando? What if, I don't know if he doesn't necessarily need to make it a new band name, but I'm just saying, back in the day, that was his group, was Crate's Claw. So I wonder if he's like, hey, it's not about assembling the old crew together. It's about making a new one. So I wonder, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but just a thought, because as you were saying, I was like,
that does make sense, because he's talking about it. He's talking about building like his own tribe, so that does make a lot of sense. And if they did the callback, it would just wrap things together even more.
Yep.
And just real quick
go
before
ahead.
we get off, the Twi'lek, the one who tried to talk Black Chrysanthemum down. I'm not sure her name yet. I think she's one of the puppeteers behind a lot of what's happening, because she gives me very heavy big bad villain vibes. She kind of has that that finesse. That's like she could try and talk Chrysanthemum down, but she's also like owning this casino and everything. So she's in a position of power and influence. I could see her becoming one of the people behind. Not even, how the mayor was paid off. I think she could be even higher up that ladder. You know what I mean? We really don't have a main big bad character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Major Domo.
Yeah, her.
That's her name.
And
I just call her Bae. That's Bae. That's Bae. That's it.
I think that's the name in canon.
Yeah, it's Bae. It's Bae. That's it. Yeah. I think it's kind of one of those things. The way the show is set up, it's like it's hard to trust anyone, because it's like the same thing with the Hutts. I don't think we're down with them. Like, they're, whatever. Like, you just hired somebody to kill them, and then you're like, you know what? We're gonna give you a pet Rancor. We're gonna go back to Hutt. Forget it. Like, I feel like there's still something up with them, and maybe they have some connection with that. With this, Twi'lek. But I agree with you. I know what you're saying. Where it's like there still seems like there's something that's not being said. I get that vibe for sure.
Yeah, something about her is just like she's gonna be more important. I think
she's Bae, bro. She's Bae. She's Bae. That's it. Boba's gonna marry her, and that's it. That's all y'all need to worry about. I'm kidding. We'll see what happens. But I mean, it's a crime story. So again, I think you're right in that sense of expect there to be some twist where one character is not who you think they may be out to be. And I think with this kind of story, like, that would make sense, and she would definitely fit that for sure. So another thing, this gets into our next topic. The place, where they have like the meeting, I feel like that really showed more of the boss Boba Fett. You know what I mean? And when they're kind of like, hey, why should we work for you? Why should we trust you? And then the Rancor kind of pops up, and then everyone's like, oh shit, there's a new one down there. Like, okay, let's everyone be collective, everyone be calm.
We're gonna listen to this guy on the grate, and he can just press one button.
He could have dropped their asses real quick. They would have been Rancor food in a minute. And but I feel like these are things that he needs, like the fear aspect, but also learning the responsibility of running this business. We're kind of seeing that side to him, but he also needs certain things to really allow him to harness that fear. And I feel like that was the moment a lot of us have been like, hey, we want to see that, but it was like, okay, that moment, he has kind of certain things within his power and in his reach that is like, okay, we should probably listen to this guy, So I really appreciated that moment. What did you think about that scene?
I think that scene, I'm pretty sure that was the scene they used in the teaser trailer in the very beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was cool to finally see that happening, and I think it really shows like his development from a few episodes ago. He was like, I need to react, and then the water merchant came in and was like, no one respects you. You need to do this, and that's when he starts realizing like, okay, I got to do more than just be Boba Fett. I gotta play the game. Like he's playing his cards in the right spots, and I think that Rancor scene was important, and also I love how he just grabbed some food and was like, here buddy, have this. I love how Boba has this like little soft spot for the animals.
I
think that's amazing, and I wanna follow up with that. The third, not the Aqualish, not the I can't remember Bosk species off the top of my head.
You're talking about the
Trandoshans.
Yep.
But the third guy that was there, he had the teeth you could see.
Yeah. Yep.
He will be the one. I'm calling it now. He will be the one that betrays Boba during his battle with the Pikes. You know how he's like, as long as you stay neutral, I'm
Yeah.
fine with it. You don't have to help me, but don't go against me. And
Yeah.
something about the way he was like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get a feeling he's gonna be the one out of the three that's like,
That might be something.
I'm allying with the Pikes because that's in my best interest, and I don't like
Yeah.
this guy anyway. You know?
Yeah. I could definitely see something like that. But then it's also one of those things of like, it goes back to enemy of my enemy is kind of your friend, where those natives, they're like, do we really want the Pikes to, like, yeah, they're already running one little section, but it's only a matter of time before that turns into the rest of Tatooine.
Yeah,
So it may
yeah,
be a thing where they're like, you know what, I don't know about this deal, but at the same time, I don't want the Pikes to like completely run everything. So
yeah.
it could go either way, where it's like, yeah, one, we know somebody's gonna end up doing something, but then with those guys, it's like, do you really want the Pikes to take over everything? And I think that's kind of why he could settle in with that confidence of like, I think they'll be loyal, because if they don't, then they know, yeah, it's only a matter of time before the Pikes are gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna take over.
And wasn't he the guy?
everything else.
Or no, it was the Trandoshans that said we make a lot of money off the spice trade.
Yeah,
So it
yep,
could go to them as well. But I think that's all foreshadowed by Fennec Shand when she's like, after they leave, they're walking away. Fennec's like, "Do you trust them?"
yeah,
And then he says, "I trust them to act in their best interest."
yeah.
That could change at any moment
That's
if the
true.
Pikes was to reach out to one of them and be like, "Here's more money," and they don't think Boba can do it really at this point. That's why they didn't ally with him.
Yeah.
But they're like, I think that's how he'll gain the respect of the other families is vanquishing the Pikes on his own.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he is as powerful as they say. He is respectable. So we'll all pledge to, Boba's clan or his group,
But then there's still other unanswered questions. Like, again, I keep bringing up the Hutts. What do you do with them? And who does he need permission from to, even kill the Hutts? Is kind of one of my questions.
I remember
You know what I mean?
now. Yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe the Hutts are some sort of like royal. Well, actually, what would make sense if you're in like a crime gang or something like that, technically you need permission for the higher ups to even attack another, sector, thing like that. So I think maybe that's a tie-in. Like there's like a bigger Godfather character than all these crime bosses.
Yeah.
And probably like the head Hutt, I would assume.
Yeah.
You need permission from them to even approach the twins to take them out.
Yeah. It's almost really understanding like the crime world within itself to really understand certain aspects and statements made in the show, which is what I'm getting at. Was like, if you understand like a true crime story, Godfather type stuff, and again, like the higher ups, those different levels, then it kind of helps it changes the way you look at the show, where you're like, okay, I kind of get what's happening in a sense.
Yeah, because Boba is definitely not at the top of the hierarchy at this current point, and I think that's kind of what he's aiming for, to build it up. And I love how he was talking about how the bounty hunters were always being taken advantage of, when the people who paid them could have just gone around it this way and they could all profited better. He's like, I'm smarter than them, so why don't I just do it myself?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think that answered a question I think it answered a question a lot of us had, was where did this drive come from him to be like, hey, now I'm going to be the crime boss? Where did that come from? And it's really, you even said it earlier, where he's had this collective of experiences where he's like, again, I've been working for stupid people that have almost got me killed, and for what? Like he even mentioned it, like all the lives that could have been spared, all the money that could have been made, but these guys were idiots. I can do it better. Why don't I just make my own shit? So it's like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
he's been doing this for a long time.
He's like, at the table, he's like, why would we fight each other when we could ally and all be rich? I think really that's his big motivation at the end. Boba just wants his power back. He wants his respect that he rightfully deserves.
Yeah.
Because the fan base as a whole respects Boba so highly. And it's kind of like a metaphor in a way. We're like early in the season, we're like, oh, I don't know why Boba's acting this way, how he's doing these things.
Yeah.
We just want to see him blow stuff up and vaporize people. And it's almost like he's trying to get the respect in the story, and the story is trying to get the respect of the fan base simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I feel like this episode nailed it. Like, it was perfect.
I would agree. Even that quote that I mentioned from Fennec Shan earlier. And again, TikTok, if you're for those tuning in, again, we're talking heavy spoilers for the Book of Boba Fett. So if you haven't seen it, just FYI, that's what we're talking about. Go away, come back and watch it if you don't mind spoilers, or if you've seen it, this is for you. So tune in. Again, it kind of goes back to that quote from Fennec Shan in this episode where she was like, being with the Tuscans has made you soft. But, he's like, no, it's actually made me strong. And I feel like she was saying what the audience was thinking, a lot of the time. And then, Boba's really filling in more of his story perspective of kind of sharing like, hey, this is where I've been. This is my experience, but those things, I'm still that badass guy. But, I can do it much better than how it was done before, kind of a thing. William Huffman, what is he talking about, William? I was looking back at the episode, and there are a few foreshadows of Crimson Dawn, as well as Mayor being a part of them. I wouldn't doubt it, man. Especially with the War of Bounty Hunters, I think everyone who's kind of on top of that, I'm now about to be catching up with that. So if any of you guys have read Crimson Dawn, I'm sure. Well, I mean, if you guys have read War of Bounty Hunters, if you guys have read that, I'm sure there's a lot. Like, you guys are like, oh, there's a lot of little connections and things that could be happening.
And that would play into the possible Bo-Katan show as well somehow.
Yeah, but we know that Kira's now the leader of that. Of Crimson Dawn. So the last time we seen her in film, obviously, was in the Solo film, but eventually when Maul died, she became the leader of Crimson Dawn. So I would imagine it's hey, she's the underground crime stuff. I mean, it's just one of those things of like, it would only make sense at some point. And we've been saying this from the beginning too, is like, does Crimson Dawn have anything to do with the hit that came out on Boba? Because he still doesn't know. Actually, no, that's not true. Because the Hutts, they technically did put the hit on him in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But we still don't know if there's other connections that still could be made with Crimson Dawn. So
I'm all for it. Play into Mando as well. If Din Djarin's showing up, there's a connection with the Mandalorian lore and history,
Yeah. Yep. The Lando show, that would be interesting to see a connection there. Absolutely.
Because he was in Solo, so and he knew her, so I guess that would make a connection as well there.
It's funny you mentioned that too, because I feel like, and this is kind of what I want for the Lando show. This is off topic, but it's on topic. For Lando, I feel like since Billy D. Williams, he's getting up there, but he's still around and still doing stuff. Since you already have an older Lando and you have, Donald Glover that's playing the younger version of Lando, I think kind of the past and present thing is something they have to play on in that show. It just makes sense. And I feel like that's a lot of what we're getting in the Book of Boba Fett, flashbacks, as well as like present time. But specifically when you have two actors that are playing the same character, one that's younger, one that's older, I feel like for Lando's show, it only makes sense to do something like that. But again, seeing Crimson Dawn, having some type of connection with that would be amazing as well. So I would love that.
Right. Yeah. I just want to see everything slowly connect itself back together.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're doing with all these shows. They're just filling in the gaps that we've always wondered,
Yeah, man.
And it all together.
It's necessary. I feel like it's definitely necessary. Some people were like, it feels like it's just flashbacks and fan service. And while part of that may be true, but again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You're talking about a character that did not do much at all in the original trilogy. So the fact we get character development, the fact we get flashbacks still blows my mind. And we're only 4 episodes in. You know what I mean? So I'm all about it, man.
And you got to think, in the original trilogy, I don't think they added Boba in a bunch of times with green screens when they re-released it in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like that scene where Han sees Jabba for the first time with the CGI Jabba, Boba wasn't actually there. They green screened him in just because the love of the character, so that.
Oh shit! I don't even remember. I didn't even know that. What?
Yeah, he walks in from the right side for a second and just holds his gun up like this.
Oh yeah.
He
That
wasn't
was
even
green
in the
screen,
actual
really?
scene. Yeah, they green screened him in.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn,
so that
that's
just
crazy.
goes to show how much the love of this character based off his design and his vibe.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
another thing I just want to see, I want to see more bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Give
Man.
me Boss, give me Dengar, put them all
Yeah.
together in one big group and just fight the Pikes in the huts, like
Yeah.
the big final battle,
It could be a thing of like with him doing this assembling of people. Maybe some of those old bounty hunters are a part of that. If he had a good, I know him and Boss, they were kind of like, I wouldn't say boys, but they were definitely rivals to each other. But who knows? Boba's changed. Maybe the same thing could be said for Bosk if he's still around. So I think that would, for me, for a while, like after last week's episode, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna see any of these older bounty hunters like Dengar and Bosk, Cad Bane, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, it just doesn't feel fitting right now. But now, after this episode where he's like actually, looking to build up a crew of people, it's like, hey, that could be possible. And I feel like that would be like a last episode type of thing where it's like, oh shit, we got like all of these characters coming back for something bigger, So that leads us into our next topic. But before we do that, we got one more question. We'll comment from William. I believe there is room to see Boba unite some of the Tusken tribes to work for him and to secure his business and power. Yeah, I think there's potential for that. I don't know though. It's like I feel like he would definitely respect them, but I feel like he's kind of one of those guys that's like, hey, they're natives to this land. They should be respected and do their own thing. I feel like I don't really see Boba wanting to drag them into this new world that he's on. Obviously, he would respect them and still, do something to try to give back to them in some sense. But I feel like where he's at mentally now, I don't see him bringing them in. Like, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
after everything that happened,
he said they took me in,
yeah,
and then I got them killed, kind of deal.
Yeah,
but the one Tusken we never seen in that scene was the one who trained him.
Yeah.
So that would be cool if the one Tusken's like makes a return and just like, I will help you, I pledge to you, because I think that'd be cool to just like show the forgiveness and to like get that closure, you know what I mean? Like, we don't blame you.
Man, that's exactly why I don't. Yeah, like it looks like it was the biker gang that killed them. But again, remember with Fennec Shan, that's why I'm not ruling out Cobb Vanth, because we don't know. He potentially could have something to do with that biker gang. We just don't know yet. You know what I mean?
Honestly, anybody could have spray painted their symbol and framed them as being the ones.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, I took care of that. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about that anymore. But then the whole time it could have been somebody else.
I'm not ruling it out, man, because we still have not. I feel like that is a pinnacle flashback, and we haven't gotten it yet. We have not seen Cobb Vanth yet. So I could be completely wrong, but I'm not ruling it out yet because I just feel like there's something there. Because even Fennec Shan was like, biker gang killing Tusken Raiders, not likely.
Especially after Boba trained them back to deal with that, and they had their own super bikes and everything at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they were even messing up the pikes, on the train. Boba had, helped them learn how to use the speeder bikes to do that, but they can fend for themselves. So what is in my mind is like, well, what else would have murdered them brutally like that, other than someone who has the capability of using a flamethrower? Weapons, Beskar, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Shit.
I don't know. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Even I think in a fair fight with Cobb, I don't think at this point he would win simply because Cobb has the armor.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I could see a preliminary battle where Cobb wins just because of sheer technology and advantage over Boba, and then he's like, waiting for his moment, and then Mando gets the armor.
Yeah.
You know, it would all play in very well.
Oh shit, man. But since they're filling in gaps, I feel like we're gonna see the moment where obviously he knows him by name. He knows who Cobb Vanth is. So that could just be him. Maybe he goes to that town, that part of Tatooine where Cobb Vanth is kind of, being the marshal at, and he's asking around like, who the hell is that flying around with my armor? Just asking people. They're like, oh yeah, that's the marshal. That's Cobb Vanth, and maybe that's the way he knows him. Or again, like you said, I think that would be pretty badass where he has like some type of physical confrontation, but is bested, because he doesn't have his armor,
Yeah.
And then again, that's how he's tracking Mando. He's like, oh great, this guy won the armor. Let me just follow him, collect my shit, and we'll be good to go. So I don't know.
And it makes more sense that way, in my opinion, because he would expect that Mando would respect him more, showing him his chain code with the past of the armor and things. Mando is a child of the Watch, so those kind of traditions really matter to him. Whereas Cobb Vanth is like, I bought this. This is my shit. Like, you can't have it, bro. And then he's like,
I got it for some Jawas, man. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and then he'll maybe remember, like, oh, I remember the Jawa zapping me, and they took his stuff. That would tie it all in.
So, yeah, man, I'm not ruling out Cobb Vanth because we have not seen flashbacks for him yet. So I just feel that it's gonna make us look at him differently. You know what I mean? If that's the case, it's gonna be like, oh shit. And if that's the case, mark my word, if he's responsible for killing the Tuskens, my boy is already dead. Like at some point, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, some shit. It'll be crazy. We'll see.
Like after Mando leaves with Boba's armor, he's like, oh, now he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
I want to murk him, and then that town would go to ruins at that point.
Or he's gonna be like, now you're gonna work for me, type of thing too. You
know
what I mean?
Smarter, because that's what I see Boba long term doing. He wants to be the new guild, the new guild leader. He wants to be the one saying, here, do this bounty. Here, do this bounty, because honestly, he's the most legendary bounty hunter in the whole galaxy. So it only seems right that he's the leader of all the rest of them.
Yeah. Now what you just said leads us into one of our main points. And this just got me. This is where I really jizzed in my pants, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Where they were like, they're preparing for war. It wouldn't be Star Wars if there's no war. So we know that some crazy shit is about to go down, right? And then, credits can buy you muscle. That's the quote from Fennec Shan. She says, if you know where to look. And then we hear that Mandalorian music, and then I was like,
oh man, that was so perfect. And as soon as we heard it, we're like,
oh shit,
this is what they're doing? That's really happening?
Yeah. And it makes sense because it's like, at first I was thinking like, okay, would Din Djarin actually say yes to like, all right, you know what, I'll come and fight in this war with you. I think he would, because
I think he would
think of everything Boba did for him that he didn't have to. Like Boba did not have to let him come fly in a ship and go save the child and help them get on top of
the mountain.
Freaking the mountain. Not only that, but then what was his name? Moff Gideon's ship, his cruiser. Like they tracked all that stuff down. He went an extensive mile to really help out Mando, and that's just because of him being loyal, to this Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Boba didn't have to do that. So I feel like, and you could quote me, tell me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, could be getting ahead of myself. And again, TikTok spoilers if you have not seen the most recent episode of the Book of Boba Fett. But in Mando season 2, isn't there a point where Boba says like something in the lines of like, you can repay me for like a favor sometime in the future, something like that? Am I making that shit up, or am I making that shit up?
It's been a while since I've rewatched season 2.
Yeah,
but it would make sense. He's the reason he got his armor back in a way.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
for him to say, "Oh, we owe you this debt to help the child," and then it would make sense to repay that debt back in the future. It's like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah. I
So glad to see him come back. Like,
yeah, man.
Mando in the show the whole time, and this is the
Yeah.
perfect way to introduce him.
I think he's definitely gonna say yes because it's like, you know what, yeah, man. Uh, Consider this my way of, paying my debt. Um, and really kind of making dues for what Boba did for him. Um, but at the same time, I think the way Din Djarin will be introduced, I want to see like maybe just a hint of like what has he been up to? Because I think there's obviously been some time that's passed since the events of season 2 in The Mandalorian. So with
Right.
that recollection, it's like, okay, what have you been up to since then? But then also, I remember I told you this last week. I want to see that scene where Boba's like, "Hey man, thanks for helping out. Do you need a ride or anything? I know your ship got blown up." And then Mando's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I got a new ship." And everyone was like, "What? You got a new ship? Toy sales? Take my money now." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that
just
would be
a
very
little
sweet
hint,
for him.
a little hint at like, okay, we know what we can expect going into season 3. Like he got a new ship. Maybe he has a new armor upgrade of some sort. I don't know. I think just little things would be kind of fun to see of where he's been, from that time in season 2 to where we are now. So
I'm thinking it's possible. This is just me spitballing. Maybe he's reconnected with some of the Mandalorians that survived.
Yep.
When they went in the sewers and like with the blacksmith and all that. I think it's possible that there was the real big Mandalorian for one. He's from
Paz Vizsla.
Yeah, he's from Clone Wars, the animated series. For him to just die off screen like that, I feel like it's a service, you know what I mean? So I think what's Mando been doing this whole time? He's been reconnecting with his clan, and then when they show up to finally help, it's like that scene where they all fly down and save everybody from the separatists.
The
battle droids. It could be just like that. Last moment, here comes all the remaining children of the Watch. I think that would be
man.
cool.
Damn, that would be sick.
And
I think that would be cool,
could
man.
explain on that and expand on what he did to reconnect with all those people.
I would be dude, I would love to see that because it's like maybe he did. I think he will get Mando, but then like what you're saying too, it's like, hey, if that kind of gives us a hint of what he's been doing through all this time, and it's like, you know what, if you're going to war, you're not just going to need me. Let me grab some of my people as well. And oh man, that would be crazy.
And I want to know if he still got the Darksaber at this point.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. But then here's the thing, like with Bo-Katan, apparently there's something going on with Bo-Katan. Like she's either going to get a movie or a show, so we know something is coming to Disney Plus for Bo-Katan. So then that brings a question as to, does he find a way to yield it to her? Does he destroy the Darksaber kind of a thing? Or does she get it back? You know what I mean? And I've mentioned this before. He has this unwanted responsibility with the Darksaber. I don't think he really cares for having it. But then it's kind of like that's the thing that makes him worthy. Is like those who don't seek power, they're kind of the ones that are worthy of it. You know what I mean? And then Bo-Katan, her whole thing of wanting to get the Darksaber back, she seemed to have been on a revenge type of thing of really wanting to kill Moff Gideon in the process to take back to be the rightful owner of, the Darksaber and the leader of Mandalore. So it's like, while she could definitely do it and has done it before, she's had it twice, and lost it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, lost
so
it
like,
both times.
if you're gonna get it a third time, I don't know, man. But then there's something significant about him holding on to it, where it's like, you're talking about this guy who's almost oblivious to, not all of the history, but some things in terms of Mandalorian history. Him learning about that and really forging a new way in things would be kind of interesting. Of like, I have this unwanted responsibility, but I have it now. So shit. Now what do I do? I really want to see kind of more of that played out, and the history of the Darksaber kind of played out more so in Mandalorian season 3. So I hope he has it, because seeing him swing that around, yes, I want more of that, dude. Yeah,
it fully puts together the look, and with the staff, the Beskar staff on his back,
man.
Holding the child, something about that. Yes,
yes, and man. Please.
Just a little bit of speculation here. Personally, before I heard this news today about a Bo-Katan possible show, I was thinking season 3 would really delve into like the history of Mandalore with the Darksaber and everything like that. But now we're saying this. I think Bo-Katan would be the perfect show to really show that back history of Mandalore that we never got. You know, she was on the planet right when it was destroyed. Correct me if I'm wrong. When it was being attacked. And does that play into Revan? Wasn't he part of like? Because I know in Knights of the Old Republic, they were like he used the Planet Buster. I don't know if this was in the. I know that's Legends, you know what I mean?
But how old is Bo-Katan? Because she would be like, isn't she like?
I think she's in her 30s
something?
or 40s around there in canon.
Okay.
But
I think Revan's old. I think he's like way before her time though. I think
you're probably right about that. Yeah. I'm not sure about the timeline when it comes to the extended universe and things.
But what you could be right about is referencing to certain things that have happened. You know, and that's what I mean about the history of the Darksaber. You know what I mean? It could be a thing of like, hey, now we're gonna show you guys. And oh my god, okay. See, now you're getting me hyped up. Because think about this: a series or a movie itself. I made a video about it. And y'all go watch the damn video. It didn't get that much love on YouTube, but I'm going to talk about it here, right? So I made a video saying, like, just think about this. If they made a movie alone where the Darksaber is a character, think about it, like a thing. You know what I mean? Like this thing is a character. We're focusing on this lightsaber, but in the midst of that, you get to travel through time of every hand that has held this Darksaber. You know what I mean? That concept alone. You know what I mean? Like that is like I would love
to be able to see back in the beginning, how it was forged, how it was made, but how this Mandalorian became a part of the Jedi. That needs more. That needs more explanation because everybody wants to know now. Everybody wants to know now that they've seen it in real live action. And I just think Bo-Katan would be a perfect one to kind of delve into the history of Mandalore that we've not known. And then that would make, I was thinking that's what Mandalorian season 3 was going to do. Now he's going to take over Mandalore as the ruler, but it seems like they're bringing him back into Book of Boba Fett. So maybe he just wants to be a bounty hunter still, you know?
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're taking away from that. And then they're like, Bo-Katan's going to go that direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll find out. We know some shit is coming for Bo-Katan, but then where Din Djarin is he's kind of this character that's like he was doing bounty hunting for a couple reasons. Obviously, for a living, he's good at it, and also he was supporting his faction and sector of Mandalorians. Like he would give a piece of his credits to help, the, foundlings and young people that were a part of his group, which I thought was really cool. But then he also was doing bounty hunting because he was numbing the pain of his past. Like, if you pay attention to his character, it was like, okay, what's my next mission? What's my next mission?
Yeah,
he's
you're
like,
right.
Damn, dude, you just came back.
Take a vacation, go to the Twi'lek baths or whatever.
But that changed after he met Grogu. Like, it became more of like, I'm quested to take this child to his people. But then after that, something kind of changed in him. And this is kind of getting more into like his character development, where it was like he's seen himself in Grogu. Like, he was a foundling when he was a kid, and he was brought in by Mandalorians, and now he has this foundling, and it's kind of like they have this attachment with each other. So, but after all of that, I bring that up because it's like, I feel like his persona's kind of changed, where like, I don't know if he's really that focused on like the next mission kind of thing now, whereas like, where does he go from here? Where like, I don't know if everything that's on the inside has kind of been healed and changed, but I feel like he kind of that's the question. Does he take on a higher purpose, or does he remain the bounty hunter that everyone knows him to be? And I don't know.
It's hard to say.
But then Bo-Katan is like, I love her. She's badass. But do we want her to be Mandalore when she's had the Darksaber? She's had her chance like all these times. You know what I mean? Like, she's had it twice. and then she lost it. Of course, I
And
want to.
Bo-Katan is not the greatest person. Like
Right.
even in the Clone Wars, she was
a
like
terrorist.
Loki a terrorist. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like I seen that as a setup for her to be the big bad in Mando season 3.
Yeah.
But now they're convoluting what I thought I knew with all these
Yeah.
developments. I'm like, man, there's so many directions they could take this.
Now I will tell you this. This is it's not really a secret, but they haven't released a trailer for it yet. There was a fan film that I was a part of last summer. It was for Bo-Katan. The film is called Bo-Katan, the Prodigal Daughter, and it's really kind of like, if you enjoyed Rebels, think of like a live action episode of Rebels. That's really what the film is supposed to be. And I got to play two characters. I got to play a Mandalorian, and I got to play one of the bad guys in the film. When it comes out, you guys will be able to see it. But really, it kind of plays into that sense of like, yeah, Bo-Katan was a terrorist, but she also kind of changed, and you got to see more of her development, which I totally get that. And I think her show is probably going to play a lot into that. But then it's just like, I don't know where it left off in season 2 for Mando. I don't see her as the Mandalore. You know what I mean? Like the attitude.
I see Din Djarin as the best Mandalore.
Those who don't seek power are most, appropriate for it. He doesn't want it, and that's what makes him perfect for it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It could go either way, man. Shit, there's a lot to speculate, but it's just nice to be there with Star Wars.
I really think that's like a whole new thing. They're kind of really focusing on, look, these people have done this in the past, and now they've changed. That's kind of like a overarching theme we've seen in Star Wars with Boba Fett, with Din Djarin, and maybe we'll see that same thing with Bo-Katan as well. That was the original theme with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
We've seen him as a child, we seen him lose his way. We seen him redeem himself in the end, and I think that's what Star Wars really encompasses.
Yeah, it's all about the hero's journey, and people change, and I think that's, and I think thank you for mentioning that, because for those who are like, this isn't the Boba Fett that I grew up with, it's not. And I think that speaks to, oh God, we can have many conversations about this, like even with Luke Skywalker. I'm not going to get into that, but again, time, experiences changes people. And I think if we can accept that, it helps you to look at these characters and say, okay, I understand that. I can understand why, this guy is in his late 40s and, he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. He's like, I'm done working for stupid people that almost got me killed. I can do this shit better. I'm not just that guy anymore. Okay, I get everything he's been through. It's like I could get that. Or a Jedi that built up a school and all of the kids get murdered, and it was under his wing by his nephew. You can see why anyone would be like, you know what, the Jedi need to end. I'm done with this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you can understand people's experiences, then you can understand why they are changed years down the road. It just helps you to see them in a different light.
Yeah, and then you see Vader in the comics, those small moments where he finds C-3PO destroyed on Bespin, and he holds it to his head. Like, he's still in there. They're all still they're all deep down just a product of their experiences. And I think all these new shows and everything, their purpose is just to give a better context to everything.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree with that, man. To end out our stream tonight, what are your predictions for next week's chapter, man?
I really want to see more development with the Rancor. Like,
oh yes.
we seen the trainer, Danny Trejo. We need to see more of him for one. He's finally in Star Wars. We need to see, I need to see Boba literally fall off the Rancor 100 times. And like you said, we need to see the flashback where he finds out where his armor is. So now he's found his ship. Next, he needs to find his armor. And I think that's going to focus on it. And then Mando's showing up. Mando's got to show up. Reaching out. Everything we've been before, and it's finally spearheading to everything we wanted.
Yeah. There was a lot of foreshadowing. I feel like there was a lot, even just in general in the show, there's been so much foreshadowing. It wouldn't be Star Wars without a war I think we're definitely going to see Din Djarin in the next episode. So I'm already like, next Wednesday, get here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I think we're going to see him, but I feel like we're going to see some ramifications of the fight starting. But I think this is build up to this bigger crossover event. I think, like I said, we're going to see some action, but I don't think we're going to see, if they're going to war could last for a matter of days. It can, we seen the Clone Wars, right? That lasted for how many years? If we're talking about like in universe, so if this is a start to a war, even if it is underground, you know what I mean? Like it's a crime, thing. It could still be dragged out into bigger aspects of the story. So I feel like this is just the start to that. I don't think that war is going to end in the very last episode of the Book of Boba Fett. It's like, hey, we're going to bring Mando in for a cameo. You're going to help fight, kick some butt, then go off into season 3. That's the end of this war. I feel like this is just the start to other things that are going to kind of be a ripple effect that are going to lead into kind of this big crossover event. You know what I mean? I can guarantee you, like everything that's happening here, we're going to see certain things transfer over into Mando season 3 that will also transfer over into Ahsoka show because they're all supposed to connect. You know what I mean?
I forgot about that.
So, you know what I mean? And you got Thrawn, that's going to be the big baddie in there as well. You also have the Pikes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, man. So all of this shit's connected. You know what I mean? And it's all going somewhere. I think we're going to see good action, but I think the war, what I'm saying, I think the war is just starting. And I don't think it's going to end just on the last episode. By the way, again, my bad, y'all. I was so wrong last week, like telling y'all we only got 2 more chapters left. I was wrong. Technically, it's 3. We have 3 chapters left. So, after today, right? Yeah, because there's 7 chapters in total. So that will leave us with 3 more chapters. And this one, yeah, man, shit, I'm happy about that. So I'm glad I was wrong. So
yeah, I was like, no, there's only 2 more. I feel like but yeah, I mean, they got time to really just fill in the gaps a little bit, and like we've been saying from the last week, there could be a season 2, and I think with the way things are going, there should be. It's such a good show.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I still stand on that. I don't think there's enough time to just be like, we're going to wrap everything up within the show. Even though, like, there's certain things will, transfer over into the other shows, specifically for Boba's story and his development. I feel like there's still more time that could be spent within his own show. And, yeah, I just wait until that last episode. Stay for the end credits. That screen's going to pop up. The Book of Boba Fett will return, and we're gonna be like, "Oh, season 2, 2025, 2025." It's gonna come.
Like 5 years.
It's gonna come. Yeah.
It probably will be like that too, but at least we got Ahsoka, we got Mando season 3, and so much to fill in the gaps until then. So
yeah. So I'll leave you guys with a couple captions before we end. Make sure everyone subscribes to the channel if you are new. And also, I mean, I feel like most people who are watching, you guys have all come from TikTok, but be sure to check both myself and Yandura out on TikTok. Let me actually go to your TikTok. I don't think I did that last time. What the hell is wrong with me? Why didn't I go to your TikTok, man?
I literally just posted a video about the new episode like 5 minutes before we went on this live.
Really?
I haven't even been able to check it yet. But it was just kind of a spoiler, and I was just like, yo, Mando's coming. That's basically what I was getting at.
Dude, that's all I can think about. Like, that's literally all I can think about, man.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
Here's Yandura's page. Go and check him out. Give him a follow. Yandura, tell folks all what you do over there on TikTok.
So I love to make Star Wars content. It's kind of my bread and butter. And that kind of expanded into Minecraft. So I got the Minecraft Star Wars server as well. You can join that with the link in the bio up there. And coming back soon, I'm getting real back heavy into the music. I'm a musician myself. I went to school for it. And I'm about to be bringing that heavily into my content now. So, So be expecting that. I'm working on maybe a couple Star Wars themed songs coming up.
What?
So if you like that kind of thing, just keep your eyes open. I've had some stuff in the works, and yeah, that's where I'm gonna roll with now. And yeah, that's really where I'm at. Just talking about things I love, things I like, and just we out here, you know.
Yeah, man. I just posted his link in the chat. That's what it is here. Let me Endura's TikTok above. That way everyone knows. Hopefully I spelled everything right. Yeah. That's his link right up there. So click that. You guys can check him out there. Yeah, I mentioned this before, man. I came across your page. Yeah, damn, 2 years ago. What the hell? That's crazy.
I probably only had like 20K followers back then or something.
That's crazy. Yeah, 2 years ago, man. And it was through Star Wars lore. Like, you did a lot of lore stuff. I was like, damn, this guy's pretty cool. Let me follow him. So I've been following you for a while. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I love. And he does a lot of good video game stuff too. So be sure to go and check him out. You'll have a good time. Yeah, man. I'm glad that we have 3 more chapters left. Every Wednesday, make sure you guys are tuning in. Me and my buddy Andura will be talking about the Book of Boba Fett and just geeking out. This is our recap. So again, for everyone on TikTok, if you have not seen it, I've told you guys from the beginning, like if you haven't seen it, it's spoiler talk. So if it's been spoiled for you, and you stayed, if you stayed, it's on your own. Don't blame me.
Yeah, we just broke down the whole episode for you without even watching it. Like,
so we will see you guys next Wednesday. Be sure to go follow us both on TikTok. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later on.